Jen Schonberger is here with the details. Jen, good to see you. What do we hear?
Good afternoon, Dave. Fed Chair Powell wrapping up his semi-annual testimony to Congress today before the House Financial Services. Fed Chair Powell keeping his options open for how much higher the central bank could raise interest rates at the next policy meeting after opening the door to a potential 50 basis point rate hike on Tuesday. Powell pointed to the upcoming employment report Friday, along with key inflation reports next week with PPI and CPI reserving judgment. Take a listen.
When we say that we're going to be looking at the totality of the data, which is what I said, that does include these reports yet to come. They're going to be important in our assessment of the higher readings that we have very recently received and of the overall direction of the economy and of our progress in bringing inflation down. And we'll be carefully analyzing them. Again, we have not made any decision about the March meeting. We're not going to do that until we see the additional data. The larger point, though, is that we're not on a preset path.
Powell reiterated to the committee that inflation is running higher than expected and that interest rates will likely need to be raised higher than previously thought. Though Powell avoided telling lawmakers just how much higher the central bank could raise rates, only noting that Fed officials will release new forecasts at the March 22nd meeting, but that rates would likely need to rise higher than the range of 5 to 5.5% projected in December. Now, Democratic Ranking Member Maxine Waters chided Republicans on the debt ceiling and asked Chair Powell about failure to raise the debt ceiling. Powell warned that the Fed cannot protect the economy from default.
No one should assume that the Fed can protect the economy from the non-payment of the government's bills, let alone a debt default or something of that nature, which we don't think will happen here, but no one should be thinking that we have the tools to protect the economy from all the potential effects of that.
When asked whether the Fed would accept a $1 trillion coin to avoid a debt default, Powell said there are no rabbits to be pulled out of hats, and that would be a rabbit coming out of a hat. Now, House Republicans expressed concerns about reviewing and potentially increasing capital requirements for banks as well as the Fed's climate testing scenarios. McHenry questioned the Fed's motivation for the Fed's review and said that the Fed shouldn't operate in the shadows, especially when the regulation in question could have significant economic effects. McHenry also accused the Fed of laying the groundwork for climate policy implemented through Fed regulations. Now, this is the last time we will hear from Fed Chair Powell before the policy meeting in 2 weeks. Dave?
Jen Schonberger there with the latest from Mr. Powell. Thank you.